Too many people don't understand how good this Gemini update is for Google Workspace and Google Drive. I'm talking about creating more complete documents in Google Docs and Google Sheets. So here's what this process looks like. I gave Gemini a prompt to convert the number formats in this spreadsheet to the appropriate format and to use a specific monthly format. And as you probably saw, that's what it did. It converted and cleaned the data for the month and then use the appropriate units and format for the rest of the data. We'll create a report in Google Docs, so we'll go to docs.new to open a blank doc, and we'll use two methods. The first one is strictly using the data in the spreadsheet, and the second method will create some data visualizations in Google Sheets and then reference this updated doc in Google Docs. So in Google Doc, go down to the prompt field, click on the plus sign to add sources, add from Drive, and we'll select our Google Sheets here. In the bottom right corner, we'll click on Add. We'll start with a very simple prompt to create a report from this data. It'll give the file a title, start generating the content in the document, and in the left panel for the document outline, it'll generate the sections. That means it'll format the section headers, and you'll see it populate in that panel. I've checked the data points and I haven't found any errors to the data references yet. This is the first report that I generated using Gemini, and I like this one better. It has a table for monthly averages with these metrics here, and it gives me more sections like sales cycle performance, but this section for strategic recommendations is very good. It tells me to investigate root causes for interesting trends that it highlights. Now we'll try this prompt to add a chart or a table for quarterly performance using average monthly data for the marketing and lead funnel section. So it created this table here, and I'm going to accept this, clicking on that accept button. Now for the acquisition efficiency section, I've tried this a few times. It looks like you can't generate any charts from Google Docs. You have to do it in Google Sheets. So we're going to go over to the right side here and click on the X to reject it. Now back in the Google Sheet, we're going to create data visualizations and charts from this data and then insert it into the sheet. So for this one, the monthly recurring revenue trend chart, we'll click on these three dots, copy the chart, and then in our Google Sheet, we'll paste it. I tried creating these charts with the free version of Gemini, and I used this prompt here to create specific data visualizations, plotting these metrics against each other. So we'll copy this chart, go over to our Google Sheets area, paste it there, and then we'll copy this chart and paste it right next to our other scatter plot. There's this other chart that I created with the Gemini Pro version, so I'm going to add that below these charts. But if we go back to this example here, it also created key insights based on this prompt just to create data visualizations. So we can insert this into the Google Sheet. If we don't want to create another report, a separate report from this, it even summarizes the visualizations. If you insert it, it'll just create a cell full of the insights. If you copy it, it'll paste each line by line in separate rows. If you click on a chart, you'll see these three dots for more options, including editing the chart, downloading, publishing, copying, or moving it to a separate sheet. If you want to insert the chart into your Google Doc report, right now you either have to copy it or insert it using the insert function. If you simply copy and paste, it might just paste it as an image, but it may recognize it as a chart from a Google Sheet. If it doesn't, just use insert in the top menu and then go down, hover over chart, and then select from sheets. You can select your Google Sheet here and then insert one of the charts that you want to use. So we'll choose monthly recurring revenue, click on import. Here's our chart, and then we'll see that it's a linked chart. You can click on these for the options to open the Google Sheet, unlink it, or click on this minimize icon to collapse that small toolbar. Gemini works with larger datasets in Google Sheets as well. This dataset has over 2,200 rows for customer data on demographics, the amount of products they purchase, as well as marketing campaign data. So in the right panel, we have these different data visualizations, including the customer age distribution, marketing campaign data. So we see that there's friction with the second stage of the campaign, while the other campaigns perform at a better rate. Then there's the scatter plot for income versus total spending, and the average total spend by education level. We can also ask what the average total spend is. It returns a number, explains how it was calculated, and even gives us the top spenders. If we go back up to our insights, we can even export this to Google Docs. When it's ready, click on the link to open it in a new tab. It brings over the data visualizations, which look like they're images. That's fine, but it also gives us these other sections like the key takeaways for the data summary and the visualizations. If it's useful to you, it also gives you the Python code. We can use Gemini to clean this report up into something that we can distribute, add charts that were generated from Google Sheets. We can create a new tab and ask it to create a report on product purchases from the data, including customer segments that purchase specific products and other product insights. Gemini pulls some interesting insights, like those with higher education tend to purchase wine and meat products more often compared to those with kids in their household. And for high volume shoppers, the in-store channel is popular compared to the web and e-commerce channels. And of course, there are the strategic recommendations for targeting those specific customer segments, as well as offering promotions. If you prompt Gemini in Google Sheets to create a dashboard, it'll generate a plan so you can review all the details for the various aspects of the dashboard and suggest any changes that you want to make. If you're good with the suggestions, just click on approve. Remember, this is in beta, so Google is working on improving the product. We can see that it's already created a new tab for the dashboard. It's highlighted some data, making some calculations to include in the dashboard. For a product in beta, this is a very good start for the dashboard. It has the KPIs at the top and the data visualizations below. I would just tighten up the scorecards and the charts to make it that much easier to read. So Gemini in Google Docs can create you a very good starting point for your report. In some cases, maybe this is exactly what you need. Or if you're just conducting analysis, you can just create everything you need in Google Sheets. If you found this useful, like the video and leave a comment. If you want more content on AI, workflow automation, and analytics, subscribe to the channel.